Let me kind of get this going a little bit. All right. So, all right. This is cool. So there you go. All right. All right. I'm looking all right. So what I have here is I'm going to start doing this where I basically start to see, different places that I can stream. Right now I'm doing a test live on YouTube. And if you guys want to see me while I'm talking here on Wisdom app, search for House of Lore. And then you guys will see me here talking on YouTube. All right. So I'm on House of Lore on YouTube. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. Um, this is going to be a quick little chat. I wanted to talk about, so I have a couple of books. And if you're watching on YouTube, you will actually see these books. They'll kind of be backwards in the screen. So I'm still figuring this stuff out. But I have Finding Gratitude. Finding Gratitude book is actually really good just to be mindful. And this is finding attitude. Don't find your attitude too tough. Finding Gratitude, simple ideas that can change your life. This one is by Rebecca Lip and Nicole Perry. And then I have Power of Imagination. So I'm kind of showing this on YouTube. You guys can see me over there. And then I have The Science of Self Realization. This one is good. This is more of Krishna consciousness book. So I like to kind of do something where I sit randomly and just look at some random stuff. I think I'll put these in order of how I want to read them. I think Power of Imagination is a good deal breaker for me because it has some pretty good stuff in here. Like I just simply opened up a random page. So if you guys are watching here, I'm just going to show you in the camera here, but I'm not going to be on long on YouTube. This one here is this is chapter 15, and it's called All Things Are Possible. So I'm going to kind of read a little bit here. I like to do this for myself, and just really think about Power of Imagination. This is a really great book. I've been reading this for the past couple of years. So let's see. Chapter 15, All Things Are Possible. The clue to the real purpose of life is to surrender yourself to your idea. So it says here, it is the great significance that the truth of the principles outlined in this book have been proven time and time again. Okay, so this is by this experiences taught by spiritual teachers. All right, so let's go to the next page. We're just going to skip over this. It says, live your life in a subliminal spirit of confidence and determination. Disregard appearances, conditions, in fact, all evidences of your senses that deny the fulfillment of your desire. So let me go back over that real quick just to make sure I'm understanding this. Live your life in a subliminal spirit of confidence and determination. Disregard appearances, conditions, in fact, all evidence of your senses that deny the fulfillment of your desire. That makes sense. Rest in the assumption that you are already what you want to be. For in that, you are already what you want to be. So, for in the determination of assumption, you and your infinite being are emerged in creativity, unity, and with your infinite being or God, all things are possible. Okay, this is very good. So through the mastery of your assumption, you are in very truth enabled to master life. It is thus the ladder of life is ascended, thus the idea is realized. The clue to the real purpose of life is to surrender yourself to the ideal or inner master with such awareness of its reality that you begin to live life of the ideal and no longer your own life as it was prior to the surrender. Okay, so I'm kind of getting that. Does that make sense to you guys? Like I said, if you guys want to see me while I'm talking, I'm trying this new thing. I'm on YouTube live right now on House of Lore. Um, but I really like these books. And like I said, I'm not going to stay live on here. This is just a test. and I'll end up watching this back and see how I feel about it. There was like no intro or anything on here. So I'm going to be trying different things, going multi-streaming, multi-live streaming. I've been talking about that for like, I don't know, like the past couple of weeks. But I think this is very important. Okay, so let's just kind of break this down. Really surrendering yourself to your ideal or inner master self, okay, with such awareness of its reality that you begin to live life of the ideal and no longer your own life as it was prior to this surrender. So now this plays a lot into like spiritual alchemy and kind of changing your life. This is how I think about stuff. Um, and, you know, it's kind of like when you're recreating yourself, you really want to be that new self. You don't want to be your old self. And once you kind of give in to that or disregard your appearances, conditions, and all of that, then you start becoming your true higher self, if that makes any sense. So you're like, you're not even trying to be what you used to be. You're trying to be somebody new now. All right. So this actually makes sense. So surrendering yourself to this inner master and being more aware of that reality. Um, that makes a lot of sense to me because I kind of feel like I've been going through that lately anyway. So let's go on to the next. Let's go on to the next chapter. Once again, you guys, this is Power of Imagination. Let me tell you guys what book this is. So you can find this on Amazon, actually. Power of Imagination. This was given to me as a gift by Darwin Gross. You can find this this book. It's just a simple white book. You can find this on Amazon, just to let you guys know. Now, I like chapter number 16, so we're about to break this down. Be a doer. The real truth seeker will welcome this aid in concentrating this attention upon a law which sets him free. Oh, that pretty much makes sense. And you guys, so this is how it works on YouTube. If you subscribe to my channel, you can actually come in right now and watch me as I'm reading this book. I did just finish going live somewhere else, so I may not be looking all that wrap tight, but hey, it is like 11:44 p.m. out here. All right, so your desire, let's just go ahead and read this. Your desire is what you want to be in looking at yourself in a glass and seeing yourself in imagination as that person. So this is kind of like what I was talking about with this last chapter about surrendering yourself to your ideal inner master and becoming aware of that reality instead of the reality where you were in last time, you know, if that makes sense to you guys. Basically, we're renewing ourselves. We are starting to become new. And so let me go back and read this. Your desire is what you want to be in looking at yourself in a glass and seeing yourself in imagination as that person. Forgetting what manner of person you are is failing to persist in your assumption. The perfect law of liberty is the law of spirit, which makes possible liberation from limitation. That is the law of assumption. Okay, so now we're learning about the law. I like to think about like the universal law, but then see with the law of assumption, it's almost like you have to be a doer. You kind of have to, you're assuming that now that you're becoming aware or being new, that you are indeed going to be a new person. So you kind of, um, change the functions of the universe that you are in, if that makes sense. I'm just kind of rambling, but I'm just saying. So it says here to continue the perfect law of liberty is to persist in the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. So, see, now that makes sense to me because now it's kind of telling me like whatever I see in my future, whatever I see myself, that is actually going to happen in real time, right? So you're going to persist in the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. This is like seeing the end result before it happens. So I'll say it like this: using your imagination in thought forms. This is something that I learned in one of my spiritual classes that I was taking. Um, Using thought forms, that's one good way of seeing yourself, visualizing yourself in the end result of what you want to be, and actually being able to manifest that, because what you're going to end up doing is changing who you are so that way you can get to that end result, and you're going to live life differently than you would before. This is the way that you are going to be able to manifest this. So I'm trying to see if there's an example. For example, I want to be this spiritual teacher, right? And I know that there's some things about myself that I'm going to have to change. All right. And so I could say I see myself as, and this is actually really true. This is actually really true. Right now, I'm looking into getting a degree and diplomas into different things like metaphysics. Um, I think I was kind of looking into a little bit of psychology, a couple of different things, so that I can have my degrees and stuff in what I need. All right, so that's what I was thinking about doing. And so as long as I see myself doing that, or seeing myself you know, with that diploma, or seeing myself as a spiritual teacher or something like that, then eventually that will happen. So let me just go back because I'm rambling now. So forgetting what manner of person you are is failing to persist in your assumption. The perfect law of liberty is the law of spirit, which makes possible liberation from limitation. That is the law of assumption. Um, all right. So, is somebody watching here? Is somebody on YouTube? Hey, you guys, this is Artemis. Hopefully, you guys can see me. I will chat in on YouTube and say hello, at least if you are here. If you subscribe to the channel, then you can actually leave a comment down below. Right now, I'm on Wisdom app. We are reading Power of Imagination by Darwin Gross, just to let you guys know that. So let me continue here. And like I told you guys, if you guys want to watch, who is this? Oh, hey, old soul. Hey, what's going on? I'm on Wisdom app. I'm on Wisdom app reading spiritual books. So I'm just going to keep going, and you guys can watch over on YouTube. Okay, so let's kind of skip over to the doers. So you must be doers of the laws of assumption through spirit, for without application, the most profound understanding will not produce the desired result. Let's take that back, because we got to make sure we understand what these books are saying. Word, old soul. I got you, my homie. So you must be doers of the law of assumption through spirit. Okay, so for without application of spirit, the most profound and understanding will not produce the desired result. Now, maybe everybody doesn't believe in that, but as you guys know, I'm a spiritualist, and I believe that has everything that I do is connected to spirit. I'm very spiritual, and I was laughing at myself because I did a podcast on Artemis Oracle cards. And it was so funny because I was like dead serious. I was so serious about being connected to spirit guides, and the divine. And it's something about the way that I practice and the way that I move forward in life. If I'm not connected with spirit, not the way, like, I have to know 100% that I am. And that's not for everybody. A lot of people, they could do this within themselves. They don't need anything outside of themselves. But for me, I need that grounding. That has really helped me along my journey. So, with that being said, I do resonate with this particular statement here. So let's go back into this book, and then we'll kind of go into the Krishna consciousness book, Self Realization. I like this book too, but for now, it says here, frequent reiteration and repetition of important basic truths run through these pages. Where the law of assumption is concerned, the spiritual law that sets man free, this is a good thing. This should be made clear again and again, even at the risk of repetition. The real truth seeker will welcome this aid in concentrating this attention upon a law which sets him free. Well, what do you guys think about that? How does that sound to you, old soul? Anybody listening here on wisdom as well? Do you guys feel like repetition? Okay, so let me just talk about this repetition and reiteration. Do you feel like the spiritual law sets us free to the point where we take the risk of repeating, telling people this over and over again in order to make this very clear, in order to make this very clear for people? Do you feel like, hey, it's a risk? You're always telling people about spiritual stuff, no matter what it is, it's gonna set the person free. Does that sound like we're preaching here? Hey, Zen Summer. Hey, I'm talking on Wisdom app and I'm up here live right now. It's very late out here. I'm kind of looking at my eye here. But do you guys feel that way? So let me repeat it for you guys on YouTube. Tell me how you feel about this. Frequent reiteration and repetition of important basic truths run through these pages where the law of assumption is concerned. The spiritual law that sets man free, this is a good thing. This should be made clear again and again, even at the risk of repetition. The real truth seeker will welcome this aid in concentrating this attention upon a law which sets him free. What do you guys feel about that? Do you feel that this type of spiritual lesson or spiritual law should be teach to people over and over again? It should be repetitive, like this is what's really going to set them free. You know, I don't know if we all agree with that. I think that a lot of us, we do inner work. And, I think this is based on somebody who is really, really deep into their spirituality, and they feel like they have to remind themselves. To do this over and over again. So I will say again, hello, Zen. Uh-oh. Hello, Zen, and hello, old soul. Hello, Zen. Hello, old soul over on YouTube. Okay, cool. All right. So I'm just saying, if you guys, what do you guys think about that? Anybody here on wisdom, if you guys want to step up to the plate and talk about this book or go over these different books or topics, you can. I'm not going to be on here too long because I think the last time I was on wisdom, I was on there for 2 hours. So anyway, let's just keep going. What you must strive after is being. In order to do, it is necessary to be. The end of yearning is to be. What book is it in particular? This is Power of Imagination. Oh, sorry, it's kind of Power of Imagination by Darwin Gross. Power of Imagination. It has kind of like the tree of life on the front of it. You could kind of see. All right, so I'm going to get back into this. So you must strive after. What you must strive for is being. In order to do that, it is necessary to be. The end of yearning is to be. Your concept of yourself can only be driven out by your consciousness, can only be driven out of consciousness by another concept of yourself. Okay, so let me go back. I like to make sure I'm understanding what I'm reading. The end of yearning is to be. Your concept of yourself can only be driven out of consciousness by another concept of yourself. That makes sense. Okay, so now I understand. So first we were in chapter 15 where we were talking about basically surrendering ourselves to our ideal inner master self with awareness of the reality of being that instead of being the person that you were prior to that. Okay, and then it talks about being a doer. Okay, so being a doer, which basically you are forgetting what manner of person you are. Okay, and then actually grasping onto the law of spirit. Okay, or forgetting the person that you were and grasping on the law of spirit. And you have to do this and be connected with spirit. and repetitively let yourself know that being connected to spirit is going to set you free. Okay, I'm putting this together, you guys. You let me know what you think about it. I wish I could agree with that. Yeah, I know. And you know what? That's why I'm asking you guys what you guys think about it over on here or either on YouTube. And it also seems to be addressing letting go of expectations. Yes, that's exactly what I'm seeing here. And then now I'm seeing something about, so now I'm starting to understand here because I kept reading this over and over. Your concept of yourself can only be driven out of consciousness by another concept of yourself. It's almost like you're replacing your thoughts, or you're replacing your awareness with a new form of yourself. I don't know if you guys self. Okay, all right. I got a little unstable connection on YouTube. That's normal for me. Okay, so we're back on again. Okay. So this is interesting. This is interesting. We could continue with this. This is just one person's outlook on consciousness, spirit, and how to be a good person or how to change yourself. Um, you know, everybody may not agree, but I still like to read it from time to time. My favorite chapter in the book is Destiny. That is chapter 24, and then we'll go to the next book. I'm not going to be on here long. Number 24, chapter 24, Destiny. Now it talks about the law of assumption again. So have you guys ever heard of this law of assumption? The law of assumption is the master key to the consciousness attainment of your highest destiny. Okay, so your destiny is that which you experience. Reality is an infinite number of individual destinies, each of which is the starting place for a new destiny. Since life is infinite, a concept of an ultimate destiny is inconceivable. When we understand that consciousness is the only reality, we know that it is the only creator. That means that your consciousness is the creator of your destiny. The fact that you are creating your destiny every moment, whether you know it or not. Much that is good and even wonderful has come into your life without you having any inkling that you were the creator of it. Okay. All right. Well, I can kind of agree with that. Excuse me if I'm off a little bit. I just did a live on a whole nother app and it was new to me, and now I'm trying to find my grounding here. But I think you guys get the gist of this. I think what this is all basically saying. Once you recreate yourself, this is what I'm going to say. I think it is. Once you recreate yourself, you are now replacing your old self with a new self. So now you have a new consciousness, a new mind, a new set of, laws that you're putting into place into the universe, or you're following these spiritual laws. That's what I'm kind of getting at. And then having to stay connected to spirit and the divine, and kind of reminding yourself, I don't know, you know what? I just naturally do this. I naturally reiterate and repeat this information back to myself over and over again, and I could see myself growing. But sometimes if you continuously push yourself so much, you don't want to end up being something that you're not. But see, that's another thing too. So now you got to be able to balance what you're trying to be or where you want to be with who you are still. Okay, so I guess that makes sense. Let me take a little sip of water here. Thank you guys for watching over on YouTube. I appreciate it. I've been working a lot. I've been looking into universities, metaphysics universities. I'm trying to further my education right now. And so I'm getting ready to take a huge step into learning more wellness and, more spiritual stuff. So I'm here for it. You guys see my eyes on, I'm like, I love it. I love the metaphysical. I'm in love with it, I should say. Okay, so let's go on to the next book. And like I said, you guys, on Wisdom, if you subscribe to my channel may not be for everyone, but at least if you subscribe to it right now, you can actually hit me up in the chat on the live feed on YouTube on type up House of Lore. All right. So now let's take a look at this self-realization, the science of self-realization. This again is not for everybody. And this is based on Krishna consciousness. So I'm going to kind of go towards, and then of course it has beautiful art. So you can kind of see that here. I love that. So, all right. So that's Krishna, kind of teaching a monk and talking to a monk in the wherever they are, Alpine mountains or something like that. All right. So let's go to the beginning of the book. Now I want to ask you this: the University of Yes, go ahead, Zen. That's the one I was looking at today. I was looking at that. I was looking at the University of the Metaphysical Science or No, I don't think it was that one. It was one like that one. And then I was also looking at another health and wellness spiritual school as well. So I'm trying to get diplomas here. Like I'm really I'm really trying to do some things in my life. And luckily for me, which is really great now, my loved ones are starting to support my journey. So this really, really matters to me. So anyway, let's keep going. So now a lot of in this book, once again, if you guys want to look for this book on Amazon, The Science of Self-Realization, and you'll actually see Krishna on the cover of the book. It's a blue book. All right. So a couple of interesting things here. I'm just going to randomly read something and you guys could let me know how you feel about this. Now, of course, when we write books, when we write books, are we writing books for the collective consciousness, or when we write books, is it only supposed to be what we think consciousness is and what we think life is? Or does it even matter? You just write the book. It's just whatever your knowledge is, you're just going to write the book and share the message with the world, right? So this could be one-sided and everybody may not agree. So, when we write books or when we teach classes, like when I teach my class, I try to think about everybody, but, it may not be for everybody anyway. We're not going to be able to please everybody. So this is one person's take on life through Krishna consciousness. All right. So I'm going to go past the part where it talks about religion, and I'm going to skip down. And it says here, we must always remember that human life is attained only after an evolution of millions of years in the cycle of transmigration of the spirit's soul. Do you believe that? In this particular form of life, the economic question is more easily solved in the lower animal forms. Okay, so this is where, before I talk about this, because it's going to sound a little off, he starts to talk about animals and what they do for the economy. And it says here, but the economic questions of these animals and others are solved under primitive conditions, whereas the human being is given all the faculties for leading a comfortable life by the laws of nature. Do you guys believe that compared to animals? And why people feel like man is given a better chance to live than the animals? Because we're given these different duties and stuff like that, or we're giving these different duties to do what we need to do in life, and basically tool the land, or I'm trying to, let me see. This is why I want to go to school, because I'm trying to explain something that's in my head and I can't really explain it. So Zen Summer, if you want to help me out here. But it says here, similarly, the human being has to discharge duties, has to discharge higher duties than the animals. So who we are always busy with filling their hungry stomachs. All right. So this is basically saying, like, the animals, they have their job to do. And then we have duties and stuff to do. But basically our lives are, this is what this book is saying. Our lives are a little easier than the animals because we're given the tools that we need in life to function and do what we have to do. Um, so it's just like, he's just comparing. So it says here, we are given the human form of life, not just to work hard like a swine or dog, but to attain the highest perfection of life. If we do not, if we do not want that perfection, then we will have to work very hard, for we will be forced to by the laws of nature. Okay, so I'm just trying to think about what that really means to me. I would say that this means to me that we're given the tools that we need, but no matter what, we're still going to have to work hard or work in life. We're still going to have to work hard in life because the laws of nature are still going to force us to. Okay. Well, then if I look at it in another aspect, the laws of nature are still going to force us to survive, I might want to say. Um, because we still have to eat, we still have to live, we still have to do these things. And at some point, we're still going to have to work or do something, some type of way to make it through life. As with, so if we compare that to animals, they just do what they do naturally. They're in the grass in the field somewhere, doing what they do. But we're the ones that we're given tools and stuff to basically survive. So no matter what, the laws of nature. So would you say the laws of nature or the laws or the universal laws are the same thing, right? Where no matter what, we still have to do what we need to do. But we are under very heavy conditions. And that kind of makes it hard sometimes. Sorry, water break, you guys. I got the fan on. My voice is kind of going in and out. Let me read to you guys here on Wisdom what Zen Summer is saying in the YouTube chat on the House of Lore. I feel like it's saying that if we choose not to evolve and accept our true nature, we won't have to work as hard. If we choose to remain unaware and lost, we will struggle and work hard. Yes, that totally makes sense. That totally makes sense. Okay, let's kind of go into, I'm trying to go into something that's not going to be too overboard here, too overboard at all. So I'm going to go about here. No, actually, I'm going to go, let me see, I'm going to skip some pages. Once again, I told you guys, this is the science of self-realization. It kind of starts going into Krishna consciousness, but I don't want to go into that yet. Okay, this is really good. I like this. I like this. I remember reading this. One who is convinced of his spiritual identity and is freed from the material conception of existence, who is free from illusion and is transcendental to the modes of material nature, who consistently engages in understanding spiritual knowledge, and who has completely severed himself from the sense enjoyment, can go back to Godhead. Okay, so such a person is called a Muda, as distinguished from the Muda, or the foolish or and ignorant, for the freed from the duality of happiness and distress. Well, that's a lot. That's a lot. Okay, so let's take it back. And you guys could put in the chat what you guys think about this. Also, if you're here on Wisdom and you want to call in on this book, what you think about this book. So let's do it again. I like to go back over. So one who is convinced of his spiritual identity and is freed from the material conception of existence. Okay. So you're you're convinced of your spiritual identity and freed from the material conception of existence, who is free from illusion and is transcendental to the modes of material nature. All right. Who constantly engages in understanding spiritual knowledge, and who has completely severed himself from sense enjoyment, can go back to Godhead. That makes me feel like when we were talking about the 7 stages of spiritual alchemy and kind of separating ourselves from this material world and kind of letting go of these um, identities, or whatever identity we think that we need to have in order to exist, and we start to kind of just let go and allow the universe to work for us. But again, you guys can chat, type up why am I so I know why I'm having a hard time. It's because I'm on live and then I'm trying to talk on wisdom. That is hilarious. So I'm getting caught up in my words because I'm sitting here looking at myself and I'm not used to looking at myself. But this is good. This is good practice for me. So anyway, so this is interesting. I could say the part here that stands out to me is saying here, one who is free from illusion and material conception of existence. Okay, so when you free yourself from different things in this world, sometimes, especially like with me, you're able to see things the way they really are truly are supposed to be for your life. So I'll take me for example. I started letting go of a lot of stuff, and that is why I'm here. This is why I'm talking. I wasn't like this. Um, I wasn't like this too much, years ago. But once I started letting go of, fake identities, material stuff, and just wanting to become a better person and wanting to be tapped in more to spirit, that's when things started making sense for me. I started feeling more free. Now, with this freedom, like I said before, it's kind of hard when you are in, I would say, in this realm, or in this kind of, it can kind of be dense down here on earth, a little low vibrational at times. But as long as what you're yearning for is continuously wanting to grow and continuously wanting to reach your higher self, or your awareness, then you're still moving up. Like, it doesn't matter. So you have to work within your environment. You have to work within um, this this time frame that we're in. You have to work within this energetic field and still be able to get to your higher, to the higher heights in life, and be able to do what you got to do. So you got to kind of balance that out. And that's a very hard thing to do for some people, especially for people like me at times, as Zen Summer knows, who is my mentor, you guys. So if you guys actually see her here on YouTube, or if you see her here on Wisdom App, this is my mentor, and she does life coaching, just to let you guys know. So she pretty much has been knowing me for years and knows that I struggle with this a lot. But I always want to be free from toxicity. I want to be free from lower vibrations. I will even free myself from my own toxic traits. Okay, so this is something that I admit, this is a part of my growth. And a lot of my online friends, they know this. If I feel like I am the one that's holding me back, or if I feel like I'm not in a good mode, I will pull back and collect myself and check myself before I wreck myself. And sometimes it's already after I wreck myself, but I'll pull myself back up. All right, because I still have a goal here. I'm trying to reach my higher self no matter what. And so I like to kind of see things all around. And a lot of times I talk about, macrocosm and microcosm, stuff like that. But the macro is almost like pulling yourself back and seeing everything as it is in the universe as a whole. So you know that you're one little ant here. Oh, I have a guest. Let's see who is. Oh, sorry, I saw a guest, but I missed you. Sorry, I was talking. You could call back in. I don't know who that was. Um, Taking yourself. So it's almost like, if I envision this, right? Let's to kind of do like this visionary thing. Let's see who is up here. Who is this? Mary Kay. Okay. What I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to take this call, and what I'm going to do is end here on YouTube, because now you guys are not going to be able to hear the chat. Hold on, Mary Kay, give me 1 second. How you doing today? All right. So let me just end my stream on YouTube. Hold on. I'm not usually on YouTube that much. How you doing today? What's